Thanks everybody for joining us. I have on Austin from Workstream. Workstream is a text recruiting and hiring tool for local businesses and quick service restaurants. They help you to hire faster with texting and cut the time to engage, hire, and onboard hourly workers, saving you time, helping you hire the right talent faster. They've helped business and operators from Jamba Juice, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Applebee's, Cinnabon, and they're here to help you increase your efficiencies by over 150% and increase the bottom line. The ultimate goal is really that cost savings and helping you get the right employees in faster. So I'm going to turn it over to Austin and let him tell us how to do this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. And more importantly today, I would love to talk a little bit more about specifically how we're helping other franchisees, Jack in the Box included, regarding especially kind of during this really hard time we're going through during COVID. And we found a big leverage during this time is by using texting and ways of really having as less amount of contact when it comes to the hiring process. So just to go over a brief agenda and introduction. So I'm Austin. I'm one of the leading hiring specialists here at a company called Workstream. To give a little bit of background, the company was actually started by our co-founder and CEO. His name is Desmond Lim. He ran a Thai restaurant for about 10 years and ran into a lot of challenges when it comes to the hiring. So which is why he designed and built a company to help this process. So we're already working with a lot of brands, as you see, Jack in the Box, Firehouse Subs, Chick-fil-A, many more. But for an agenda, hoping to go over kind of how COVID's going on right now, how that's affecting hiring. Secondly, going over about texting and how text recruiting, you're able to leverage this. Fourth, contactless hiring. What are ways that you can reduce and keep it safe when you're going through the hiring process? Lastly, go over a case study, a few slides about what we do with Workstream. And then lastly, but the best, go over some Q&A, any questions you had from the presentation today. But as people are starting to come in, welcome, really excited to chat. Please feel free to click on the Q&A button, ask a few questions. I'd love to answer those questions at the end of this webinar, and hopefully later I can connect with everyone individually. All right, let's go get started. So the current landscape during COVID, we've been speaking with a lot of owners, and it's been a tough time this year. And hopefully going 2021, things will get a bit better, but it's going to take some time as we're dealing with a few challenges. So some of the pain points we've heard talking with different owners is dealing with unemployment benefits. Right now, it's really hard to get people to actually want to go into work. So it's a big challenge. Also, being able to hire in a way that makes the applicant feel safe and also your team feel safe going through the process. When it comes to finding ways to help screen applicants before they get to the interview, to reduce that contact and make sure that they are more highly qualified when they do show up for the in-person interview, or hopefully even ways of finding ways to do virtual interviews from Zoom, from phone calls, and finding ways to take advantage of some of the technologies here today. And then lastly, what we found kind of right now is being able to schedule interviews. We found ways to schedule interviews back and forth, playing a little bit of that phone email tag to getting interviews scheduled also. All right. So just a few quote, Philip Tsai used Workstream, and he really found a lot of value with the screening aspect, right? Especially kind of during COVID is, hey, how can I make sure when people are showing up to the interviews that they are the most qualified applicants? I'm not taking anyone through the door as they're trying to reduce that time in contact with people today, okay? Perfect. So what we're finding a big success right now during COVID is with texting, and not even just during COVID, but this new generation. A lot of the team members you're looking to hire today are spending a lot of time on their cell phones, right? They're on their apps like TikTok, they're on their apps like Instagram. Everything is being done on the phone these days, which is why the best way to engage with these new generation applicants, these team members, is through texting. So the research of what we found is that 98% of people open up their text messages versus 20% with their emails. A lot of times people even have an email address today. So it's a lot of times emails kind of falling apart with this new generation. Secondly, when it comes to that response time, right? A response time to a text message is average 90 seconds. People are reading and responding fast versus an email. It ranges from 90 minutes to respond. Even when you are calling people, we always recommend to try to call people. But sometimes if you're only calling with today, there's a lot of spam calls today, which is reducing a lot of times applicants are actually picking up their cell phones. So what we're finding is you lead in with a text message first and say, congrats, we're excited that you've hired, and then give them a call. That's going to increase the chance that they're going to actually even pick up the call also. So we're seeing texting as a great way as a first engagement to these applicants you're looking to hire. And to really target, it's really from this 18 and 34-year-old bracket, your current new potential employees, they are really adopting this new way of communication through texting. Okay, got it. So intro to what exactly is text recruiting. So what text recruiting is being able to use text messages all the way from the beginning of the process when they first apply, getting a text message right away and being able to communicate them through text. And also when it comes to the screening. So when they're going through a variety of questions, they're able to actually upload a video introducing themselves over video so you can better get to know the candidate before the interview, all the way to the onboarding process that these applicants can now be onboarded through training videos, through any paperwork. They're able to do this all directly from their cell phone. And of course, as you're using this as your medium to find applicants, you're going to find the generation of applicants that are tech savvy. They're great with technology. These are the people you do want to hire, while reducing the time to hire significantly, because now you're not doing manual emails, manual calls. A system is helping you in that process. Okay. All right. So what exactly is contactless hiring? So what this is an end-to-end hiring process, all the way from sourcing, screening, scheduling, and all the way to onboarding, where it can be done completely virtually. Totally get some parts, it makes sense to have that in-person contact if it means for the on-site interview, but with the tools today, it is possible to find great candidates all virtually today. So the sourcing piece, what does the sourcing piece mean? It means taking advantage of all the job boards out there, right? There's dozens of job boards that you can post to, making sure you're taking advantage of that. Building in referral programs through social media, through actually your current employees, being able to invite them to go for a job, giving those ways for benefits. Also, of course, coming in from the website. So secondly, from the screening process, as applicants are going through the process, how are you actually trying to screen candidates and make sure to find the right candidates and make sure you're only interviewing with the candidates that are worth interviewing with? So being able to do that all through text message, and also, as I kind of mentioned earlier, being able to do video introduction videos, a one-way video where applicants can upload, talk a little bit more about themselves, so you can get a better idea of how they are even before you decide to schedule that interview. Next would be the scheduling. So when interviews are going to be scheduled, you're able to automatically have applicants self-schedule interviews. So rather than having team manually reach out, manually call, manually email, applicants be able to get a text message and automatically select a best time for them to interview. And being able to do that either, of course, on-site today, but also take advantage of some of the technologies that we have to offer today, such as using Zoom, using phone call, using some of these technologies that will allow you to do interviews even before in person, right? And you think about the potential time saving there. A lot of these times you're getting people who show up for interviews and sometimes they don't show up. Sometimes it's going to save your team a bit of time if they're able to do an interview quickly over Zoom in that process. Lastly, when it comes to onboarding, so if there's any training videos or any onboarding employee paperwork, they're able to do this all directly on their cell phones through text messages, not having to deal with actual physical paper, and being able to apply this onboarding process completely from a virtual standpoint. Okay. All right. So a great tip, what we've been seeing is it's all about speed today. These applicants, when they're applying for a job at your Jack in the Box, they're probably applying for 10, 15 to 20 other jobs all at once. And whoever's the fastest restaurant to engage with them in the process, get them to schedule an interview, is likely going to be the person that will actually hire them in the process. So right now you might already be spending money posting on Indeed, how much ever that budget is. If you're not responding back to the applicant within at least 2 days, hopefully the same day, you're just losing your money, right? You're just wasting it because there's a high chance that they've applied somewhere else and they've already responded back quicker and faster, and they're already in the interview process. So what we're seeing is that speed is extremely important, and texting is what they're going to be checking, right? So if you're just emailing them, they might not even check their email until maybe 2-3 days from now. But if you're sending them a text message right when they apply, they're going to for sure check that within that minute to a minute and a half time frame, and you're going to be able to move into that interview process sooner than a competitor is going to be able to do that. Okay, perfect. So what we're seeing a lot of franchises, what they're doing, and this is actually a quick example, is they're printing out this what's called a text to apply poster. You're able to print this out and actually put this on your drive-through. And as customers are coming in, they can quickly text this number and scan this QR code and actually apply for a job. Actually, who actually has a cell phone right now, if you have an Android, iPhone device, I'd love for you to try this out so you can see how easy an applicant experience is through texting is. Just pull up your camera, point your phone camera to this QR code right here. Maybe you might need to zoom in a little bit, but it should pop up with a link, and you're able to click that link, and you'll see how easy that process is to apply for a job as your customers are coming through the drive-through, they're coming in the store, they see the poster and they scan that. And what we've also seen very beneficial is that you're able to print out this poster or this poster and laminate it. And as you laminate this poster, when people are walking in for in-paper applications, you're able to just hand them this QR code and they can scan that. Everything will go through a texting system and it will keep everything very organized. So we've been seeing that very beneficial. If everyone would like to just give that a try and see how that goes, that would be great. All right, so perfect. And yeah, you might need to zoom in a little bit on that QR code to be able to scan that. Okay, awesome, fantastic. So next, really maximize screening, right? I touched on this briefly. Is the best way is to use ways to, when people are showing up to interviews, that they are as qualified as possible, to really be able to safely minimize the amount of in-person interaction to reduce that chances of COVID. So talking about really having administration questions and knockout questions, if they're already not going to be a good fit, be able to screen them out. Also eligibility when it comes to videos, as I mentioned, this can all be done through texting and the text messages. Okay. All right, so just going over now, that's a little bit around how COVID, when it comes to texting, how we've seen that really support a lot of franchisees. What I'd love to do now is briefly talk about some of the different franchisees that have been using Workstream as a tool and found a lot of success. So Jack in the Box, Philip, I'm sure you might have heard of Philip. He's been using a lot of the functionality, as I mentioned here, right? Smart screening, text recruiting, a lot of the hiring automation. We also have a case study online talking about Philip's experience. We're working with Anti-An's Cinnabon. You can see this group here. It's a New Jersey Cinnabon. They have over 48 locations using Workstream. They've already sent out 28,540 text messages. The system is doing this all for them. So it's all done really automated, right? You're not having a GM now going and sending all these text messages. The system is really doing it in the background, almost as a machine for you. They've been able to source over 18,260 applicants, right, to all the job boards we post to, right? So rather than using just one job board, Indeed or out there, have access to as many job boards as possible. Okay, so Jamba also, right, 102,000 text messages sent. We've 228 locations with Jamba. They've been saving around 10.5 hours, and we got a big group of franchisees using Workstream from the Jamba group here. Okay. Awesome. So just a quick quote, right? What I've heard more and more from owners these days, right? It's the saying of always be hiring, right? There's never a time you're not hiring. And if you find that golden team member, you'll find a place to fit him in a role. If that means putting an extra position for him because people are the big investment that you want to invest in. So we're hoping to build a machine in the background and continue helping you find the best talent. Okay. So just to talk a little bit now about Workstream, about what exactly do we do? How are we exactly using texting to help you? So we're an all-in-one applicant dashboard when it comes to, as I mentioned, posting to all the major job boards. And then as applicants apply for a job, they're going to be taken through essentially a process where they're going to get a text message, and if you went through that process, you'll be able to see that, where everything will be organized, and it will be a framework and system to keep applicants moving throughout the process all the way so you can get an interview scheduled before another potential restaurant is able to hire them before you, right? Okay. So we're posting, as I mentioned, Workstream, we're posting to all the major job boards, right? So we're posting to the Indeed, we're posting to LinkedIn, we're posting to Google, Facebook, Glassdoor. You don't want to limit your ability to actually have candidates only from one place. You want to widen that pool as much as possible while having screening questions to make sure that you are finding the right applicants out of all the people that are showing up. And exactly, there are systems we built in with AI where it really will help you find the best job boards to post to at the right time for you. Okay. All right, and then what it actually is built for, the Workstream, it's built for high volume workforce, right? So when you're dealing with consistent hiring on a day-to-day basis, on a month-to-month basis, that consistent need, it's a system that has a two-way texting process where you're able to text the applicant directly in the system. No need to give up your personal cell phone. As I mentioned, when it comes to onboarding videos, all the way to actually sending out signatures for W-4s, for I-9s, even in your employee handbooks, these applicants will have experience to do it all paperless directly on their cell phone, and really that contactless hiring. So perfect. So touched on this briefly also. When it comes to onboarding applicants, we're going to be able to have analytics for you to see how well your hiring is doing when it comes to the time, and also which job boards you're getting the most results for. You're going to be able to have all this data to make sure that wherever you're putting your money to when it comes to advertisement, you're getting the biggest bang for your buck because you're finding the best employees from these specific job boards. Okay. So Workstream, we're backed by some of the top investors, from Joe Montana, he's a quarterback, from Jay-Z all the way to James Harden, to Zoom CEO Eric Yuan, to the Yelp's CEO. So a variety of investors have believed what we're doing, and we're trying to, we really believe in solving technology problems for a space that's not solved, right? A lot of technology right now is being solved for the salary workers, for the big tech companies, but we really want to help these hourly worker space, where that's majority of America's economy is actually from hourly workers. So our goal is to really help with these problems. Okay. So, customers, some of the customers we work with Panera, Seven Peaks, Carl Jr., quite a bit of more brands I haven't even listed here, but I would love to connect. So we do have an exclusive partnership with Jack in the Box National Franchisee Association. Really welcomed and appreciated to be part of the association. And we actually have a special deal and a special exclusive deal for the association members. So if anyone's interested in learning more about what we do and how we're helping other franchisees, please go to workstream.us/JIB-NFA. And you're going to be able to go through that link, and we'll know you're coming from the association, from this webinar, and we'd love to chat. I'd love to get to know the different franchisees here at Jack in the Box. Okay. So thank you again for your time. I know things are really busy going into 2021. You guys have a lot of things on your plate as a restaurant owner this year. I really am grateful that you've taken the time to let me share a little bit more about how we're helping during COVID, specifically texting. But if you do have any questions, if you want to contact me, my email is austintrong@workstream.is. So feel free, and I'll actually message that in the chat later, but feel free to email me, and I'll send my phone number. You can text me and call me. I'd love to chat with each of all of the franchisees or anyone in Jack in the Box corporate also. But any questions, I'm going to actually go to the Q&A and pull up some of the questions here as we have that. Okay. All right. So let's pull that up. Okay. So a question was, I'm currently already posting on Indeed. Actually, I will get that URL. Thank you, Jaron, for asking that. So I'm currently already posting on Indeed. How is Workstream different? So that's a great question. So a big difference between what's different is actually we're less where we are is we're more of a partner with Indeed, where right now, if you post on Indeed directly, when you get applicants coming in, you're manually having to reach out to them, right? So you have to either call them, you either have to email them, and a lot of times it's taking maybe a day or 2 days to actually reach out to them. But when you're going through the Workstream system and it posts to Indeed for you, is that when it goes out to Indeed and when they apply for a job, they're going to get a text message right when they apply. And it's going to go through that entire texting screening process. But because it's engaging with them right away, that increases the chance that they're actually going to convert to becoming an interview. And hopefully you'll be able to hire them. Versus if you're doing it manually, it might take some time for you to reach out and be able to engage with them. And specifically with the job boards, since we're actually posting to all the major job boards, right? You don't have to log into each individual job board. It's able to post all the job boards for you. Okay. So perfect. I answer that. Perfect. So hi, Zaidul. How does this work with the payroll vendor? So great question. Fantastic question. So it really depends on which payroll you're using. So we're working closely with a few different payroll organizations out there to make sure that we are integrated and we can seamlessly transfer that data, if it's the W-4s or I-9s, and be able to transfer that over to your payroll system. So we are working with integrations. Okay. Okay, you guys mentioned that many Chick-fil-A's are using Workstream. What are they doing differently? Great question. So a big thing what we're seeing with Chick-fil-A is, as you mentioned, they care a lot about their service and a lot about the employees they hire. That 15 to 20 second video introduction has been huge for them. By being able to, and what they did was they actually made those video upload part of that process optional. So meaning that the people who actually decided to upload a video, these Chick-fil-A owners knew exactly that, hey, this is an applicant that really wants to work here because he's putting the extra effort. And by seeing that, you can really stack rank and prioritize which applicant based on if they've recorded that video. So that's a big thing what Chick-fil-A is doing. Tanzim asked if we can send the presentation via email. Yes, after this email, everyone on the attendee list, we're going to be able to send essentially a group with the presentation on this. Yeah. Okay. Also, do you handle benefit offering enrollment for those who are eligible? Which can you? So Tracy, we're currently working with a few payrolls right now. Right now, we're working really closely with ADP, and I believe we have a few other on the roadmap, such as Paylocity and Paycom. Those are a few different ones that are on a roadmap. But we'd be happy to talk with you directly, and there's ways we can work together to make sure that it does integrate with your guys' payroll system. Also, do you handle benefit offering enrollment for those enrollment? Also, do you handle benefit? I'm not too sure if I understand your second question, but Tracy, if you'd love, I'd love to, I'm going to send an email afterwards. I'd love to connect with you one-on-one, and we can dive deeper into some of the questions that you have. Okay, so I'm going to actually share my screen one more time just so I can show where that link is for you to apply. So that again is Workstream. Actually, I'm just going to pull it up here. It'll be easier. The link is workstream.us JIB-NFA. I'm gonna chat this in the group so everyone can access this. Where's my chat? Here it is. So chat. Perfect. So everyone can now go to that workstream.us/NFA, and my email is austintrong@workstream.is. My phone number is 712-5646. So feel free to text me, email me, and I'll also reach out to everyone afterwards if you do have any other questions. So Ali asked, do we have to go to the site to see for new applicants, or do we get texted? Yep. So great question, Ali. Ali's asking if they have to go to the website to see if they get a new applicant, or do they get notified through text? So yes, you can get notified through text message right when the applicant comes in, and also an email. So you're able to review the applicants on the website, but if you'd like to review it, we also have a mobile app for iPhones, for Androids, where you can easily review applicants on your phone. I know a lot of GMs they don't have access to a computer when they're working, so you can really easily review applicants on the phone too. Okay, perfect. So question is, do we have a mobile app? Yep, we do have a mobile app. Any other questions? Those are all fantastic questions. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Well, really, again, really grateful for everyone who was able to attend today, and a big shout out to Tabitha. Tabitha, I really appreciate you giving us an opportunity to talk with some of the franchisees. So really looking forward to reach out to everyone individually. So Rowdy, I will contact you directly, and we will talk about more about what the pricing looks like and walk through exactly what a demonstration of the platform. Maybe this was a bit high level, but happy to walk through an actual more specific process there. All right. Thank you so much. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.
Thank you, Austin.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.